Good morning, everyone. My name is Niavo. I'm a sustainability consultant, and I'm also an experienced auditor and certification officer from EcoSet. Today, I will present you a topic regarding certification and agriculture, a way to success. So let's start the presentation. I hope you will get important information from this presentation. And also, if you have a question, then we will do a question answer at the end of this presentation. So let's start. Let's start by a brief introduction. Actually, agricultural sector has changed. It has improved. The demand for sustainable practices, quality assurance, and compliance with international standards has become more significant than ever. So it has really changed if we compare from the last years. Certification is not just an approval, it represents credibility, transparency, and a commitment to excellence. In this presentation, we will see how certifications can be a step for success, especially in agriculture, because it's my main focus. So I want to share you how you can be impactful, especially in agriculture. So from improving market access, ensuring customers, enhancing sustainability, and increasing profitability, certifications play the main role to improve farming practices. So let's see how certification is not just a necessity, but a step to achieve long-term success, especially in agriculture. So the main objective of this presentation is to understand how is sustainable agriculture principles and the relation to certification, and also to explain practical and applicable sustainable agriculture techniques that can be integrated into projects to be certified, and finally to illustrate with case study of successful sustainable agricultural projects. So this presentation aims to converse small farmers and community level businesses to the relevance of these practices. The plan of this presentation, I have divided this presentation into 3 parts. First, a definition of certification and especially its application in agriculture. Then, how can you develop certification for your agricultural project? And finally, we will see a case study of certification in agriculture. So it's important to see after showing the theory how it is really implemented into a project. So let's start by presenting the some definition of certification and its application in agriculture. So what is certification? If you see these pictures, certification, we have two words, standards and requirements. So these standards and requirements should be done together for a product to let him meet to let him to be certified. And certification ensures that producers follow certain regulations. We cannot, for example, using organic fertilizers, pesticides or organics on their crops, not using genetically modified organisms, but these rules depend mainly on the standards required, and these standards will give the main regulation to follow. The certification also is often required in order for products to be sold at higher prices and receive value-added benefits, such as preferential treatment or access to markets. And it helps also farmers to reduce food risk in their production. What are the advantages of certification? The main advantages we can notice as it guarantee compliance and positioning. Certification provides a guarantee of compliance because it's an important way for producers to position their products into the market and demonstrate their product which meet certain standards. If we see in these pictures, in this slide, the main the worldwide sales of organic food products from 1999 to 2022. So the market of organic products has not has always improved from these years. And the certification also allows the producers to be transparent about what they grow and how it was grown so that consumers know what they are buying. Um, so another advantages of certification is also standardization and certification because certification provides standardization in agricultural products. It aims to guarantee a predictable supply of food, which results in better health for consumers. So, standardization is a process that ensures uniformity of quality among different producers and manufacturers. This means that there will no difference between one producers to another ones, and it also provides consumers with confidence in buying products because they know exactly what they will buy, and in other words, it makes sure everyone follow the same rules so everyone can be assured about their purchase decisions. These are some example of certification, and especially in agriculture. There are different standards, but for agriculture, the main objective is sustainability and also ensure food safety. We cannot first organic certification, which requires to use organic methods for everything from soil to fertility management to pest control. Global CAP certification, for example, is a good agricultural practices that ensures food compliance along the food chain of production, and Forest Alliance, which work with farmers, businesses, and consumers to protect the forest, conserve biodiversity, and promote sustainable agriculture worldwide. There is also fair trade issued by FLOCERT, which the goal is fair prices, provide an immediate leveling for farmers and workers struggling with low incomes and disadvantaged by global trade. And another example is UEBT, which is sourcing with respect, defines botanicals broadly, including plants and other unique raw materials derived from biodiversity. Here in the pictures, we can see the different logo of this standard. So, what is the importance of certification in agriculture? First, It provides mainly environmental protection because certification like organic and rainforest enforce practices that reduce environmental damage. Organic farming also reduces pesticide residues in water by 5 times compared to conventional methods. It's an example of environmental advantage, and the Rainforest Alliance certification promotes biodiversity and sustainable land use, improving water quality on certified coffee farms. For example, a case study in Colombia. But certification in agriculture has different challenges. First, we have a high cost because the certification cost is very expensive uh, uh, because it involves the application, inspection, and the compliance cost. For example, the cost of organic certification can range to $600 to $1,000 per year for small farms. And another challenge is it is also complex processes because certification processes can be complex and bureaucratic. We need a lot of documents in implementing certification, and they require also extensive documentation and adherence to stringent standards. This is an example of cost of certification for an organic standards from a different certification body. We can see that there are different costs involved in the certification. It can lead from application, travel of the auditor, and also application file. Because all the step of production should be audited and inspected. So, how can you develop a certification for your agriculture project? This is the step of certification. First, you need to choose a certification body. For example, if you have a farm and you want to be certified, you need first to choose your certification body. This should be recognized and accredited third body certification. We cannot, for example, Soil Association, EcoCert, Bureau Veritas, IMO Control Union. After that, when you know the certification body, you you send application and you issue compliance with standards that you have chosen. So you will send all the documents form to the certification body and ensure that your activity is compliant with standards. There are different set of standards, so you need to applicate mainly the requirements on the standard you have requested. Finally, there will be an audit on site. It is an inspection on site, so the auditor will check if your activity comply with standards requirements, and then he will issue a report. And if there are different non-conformities, that it means that some points are not conform with standard requirements, then you will be requested to send corrective actions, and it will depend on the certification body review. Only after all the corrective actions are resolved that you can get your certification, your certificate. So let's see a case study of certification, especially in agriculture. It will let you know exactly how is the application of this certification in agriculture. Let's take an example, a case study of a cooperative of small-scale farmers known as the Green Harvest Cooperative. It's just an example that I have chosen. And it's a case study, so it's not real, but I have inspired from different projects that I have already seen. We suppose that the location is in rural area of Kenya, and there are 30 individual farmers who grow and process cocoa. The cooperative's members are committed to sustainable and environmentally friendly farming practices, and they have decided to pursue organic certification from their clients' requirements. In this case, the standard requested is organic certification. So you need to see what are the requirements from the organic standards, and you will use these requirements in your activity. The next step for this cooperative is to choose the certification body. After checking, they have chosen Bureau Veritas to initiate the certification process and confirm with the client if it was suitable for them, because it's the requirement from client, so the choice needs to be from client. And we have contacted the certification body, and they get package to fill for the certification and get regulation related to organic certification. After filling the package, it means that they have described all their activity to the certification body. They will get certification, quotation, and different contract to sign, and to pursue the certification process. As all the farmers has not used chemical inputs, it's a main derogation in agricultural, in organic certification. So they will need to give a proof of that, and they can already start with 1 year of organic production. And after that, the certification body plan the audit and give audit date that will be suitable for the two entities, for the auditor and the farmers to be audited. In the meantime, the cooperative needs to create documentation and perform internal control. The quality manager, because the documentation will be established by the quality manager. He will create all documents requested for the implementation, like display procedures, pest control documents, traceability. He perform training program and content, and create for producers contract and plot sheet complete. Remarks, all activity should be registered. And after that, they will choose the internal control responsible who will comply with all the requirements. The producer member engagement. The cooperative members should express a collective interest in obtaining organic certification. In that case, they need to sign a contract and engagement in organic standards. And they need to understand the market demand and also recognize the need of formalize their existing organic practices. In that case, they will create an ECS, which is an internal control system, a system which will manage the producer group. After that, the training need to be done by the cooperative. Training especially on organic farming practices, and which cover, for example, composting, crop rotation, pest management, and avoiding synthetic chemicals. But all of this should be based in agricultural standard. in the organic certification standard. And at the end of each training, members need to sign an attendance to prove they have attended the training. And each farmer will get all the documentation to fill needed for their certification. The internal control, it is an example of auto-evaluation done by the internal control responsible. So he will check and make an internal control following the organic standards. Its internal control means it's an example of audit done by the auditor, but it's done internally before the audit. And usually it needs to be done before the external audit by the certification body. It's the time of the audit by the certification body. It consists of on-site assessment. For that, the auditor will send an audit plan. The audit is conducted through different steps. First, opening meeting, visit of producers. Visit of producers, in that case, will be a square root of the total of producers, and also visit of cocoa process activity and closure meeting. During closure meeting, the auditor will explain all the non-conformity raised and also the deadline to send the corrective action. We can note that during on-site audit, all activity will be visited to check if they follow organic standards, and the auditor can make a different interview to the producers following the risk he has detected. Then there will be a compliance assessment. The auditor will assess different aspects of the production, which include soil management, pest control, crop rotation, composting, and adherence to organic inputs. Any areas of non-compliance will be documented, and the cooperative is given a chance to rectify them at the end of the audit. For our case, the auditor has raised a non-conformity, which is the producer has used chemical input on this plot 1. Producer A is a member of a group of farmers, and he has used chemical input. So all the two parties within the audit report at the end and the deviation sheet to prove their agreement to the audit. The certification body at this step, when the auditor has finished the audit, he will send the report to the certification body, and another responsible on site will do the review of the report. And the certification body, there will be another person who will manage the document, and who will be responsible to remind the cooperative to send the corrective action within 30 days. Instead, the certification body can make sanction, for example, suspension of the certification of all the cooperatives. In our case, the cooperative has sent the corrective action for this producer A. They send traceability documents of all the product delivered by the producer. This is the low number of product, and it will be done credit to conventional product. Conventional product, it means that it will not be considered as organic, but another conventional. And based on the inspection findings and documentation review, The certification body makes a decision regarding whether to grant organic certification to the cooperative or not. And when the cooperative meets the requirements, they receive a formal organic certificate. This is our case. The cooperative has sent all the requested corrective actions, so they can be certified, and the certification body has issued a certificate which is valid for 1 year. We can note that for next year there will be annual inspections. The cooperative must undergo annual inspection to maintain their organic certification. And for market access with organic certification, the cooperative, Greener First Cooperative, gains access to organic markets. And they can label their product as organic, which often commands premium prices due to the perceived quality and sustainability. And so the cooperative can now put certified organic in their label. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. I will be grateful to answer your questions. Thank you.
All right. Okay. You can raise your hands to ask questions, or you can write your questions into chat.
Yes. So I will stop presenting, then we will see who will talk.